let's lighten the mood somewhat. It's been quite a depressing morning news-wise. Now we're going to go to Australia, and since our correspondent Ian Woods took residency out there, he brings us an amazing story. Today it's like a scene from Wacky Races. Let's now call Cross Live to Port Augusta in Australia, and let's speak to Ian because he's with a lot of eco cars.
We're talking about a race which goes from right at the top of Australia, Darwin, through to Adelaide in South Australia. It's specially for solar-powered vehicles and also green, environmentally friendly vehicles. Now, we think green motoring is pretty dull, don't we? Except when you've got a Tesla sports car like this one. It's faster than a Ferrari. It's certainly the fastest car in this event. The man who's been driving it across the outback is Simon Hackett.
Hi, Ian.
Is it environmentally friendly?
This is an amazingly environmentally friendly car.
Why?
Yep. It's an electric car, so it has zero direct emissions, and if you power it off things like solar panels, then you can be completely carbon free.
And you're claiming a world record this week?
Yes, we are. Yesterday we had the good fortune to drive this car 313 miles, 501 kilometres on a single charge of electricity south from Alice Springs. So we've proven that electric cars are no longer golf carts.
And how cheap is it to run?
Electric cars are really cheap to run. This one, these work out around about, say, £2 to £3 to drive them 100 miles. So dramatically cheaper than petrol or even diesel.
And I sure think it's fun to drive as well. Also fun to drive are some of the solar-powered vehicles in this event. This event's been running for 20 odd years now, and some of the cars are just terrific to look at. They are stunning. The winner, which reached Adelaide a couple of hours ago, is from Japanese university, Tokai University. And when they are racing, they are on public roads and they are overtaking regular cars because this car is capable of more than 90 miles an hour. And when it does make a scheduled stop, it's amazing too, because what the team do is they tilt it towards the sun to really maximize the rays from the sun to charge up the fuel cells in the car and get the maximum amount of speed and the maximum amount of duration from their vehicle. But this year, they've, as I said, tried to make it more than about solar powered, about environmentally friendly cars. Fuel efficiency. Let's take a look at some of the other cars that have been taking part in this event. You've heard about the Italian job. Well, if you take a look at the three minis here, you can see that this is obviously the Australian job. These minis are diesel-powered minis. They have been trying to get across the country on just 3 tanks of fuel. Diesel-powered. Bob Jennings is the driver. How much fuel efficiency have you managed to squeeze out of them?
Oh, we're doing pretty well, we think. We're getting around about 84, 85 miles per gallon. So we'll do it on 3 tanks easily.
But to do that, you're having to take some pretty extraordinary measures. Tell me about them.
We do push the envelope a bit. We don't use air conditioning. We keep the windows up. We do allow the fan to be turned on. And the first couple of days we've been running in about 40-degree temperatures outside the car. A little bit warmer than that inside.
And in terms of speed, you're keeping the speed down as well, obviously, to eke out the mileage.
Speed around about 50 miles an hour. Which means that we're being passed by road trains instead of us passing road trains, and road trains will swat us off the road like I'm swatting these flies away.
Now, you've been a motoring journalist for a long time. I mean, is the motoring industry really becoming more environmentally friendly, more green conscious?
I think so. I think economy especially rather than emissions, is becoming a selling factor in cars, and with the price of fuel going up inexorably, people are becoming more economy conscious, and if you get 80 miles to the gallon, you'd be pretty happy.
Now, your event isn't about speed, we know that. It's about trying to, as I say, get as much fuel efficiency as possible. But in travelling like this, ordinary motorists don't travel across the motorways at such a slow speed with the air conditioning off. So how realistic is this in terms of a green, environmentally friendly car?
This sets a baseline, and from there you can work your way up. Through the factory figures, but anybody in one of these cars would get around about 5 litres a 100k, which is probably about 50% more than we're using, but easily achievable. So you'd say 60 mile a gallon, you'd bolt it in.
Bob, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. One final word on the British entry. There's only been one British entry. It's from Cambridge University, one of the solar-powered vehicles. Sadly, it couldn't cope with the desert heat. It melted, the bodywork distorted. That slowed it down a lot. It's still somewhere between here and the outback. Back to you, Eamon.
Yeah, that's solar power for you, Ian. Dangerous thing. Thank you very much indeed.